Hola, gracias por acompañarme esta noche. Me llamo Luna INNATE, and before we get into our session, I just want to take a quick moment and thank our sponsor for this video, which is Babbel. I'm sure you've heard of Babbel before. They are one of the top language learning apps in the world. I'm so grateful to have been working with Babbel over the last couple of years because I enjoy this app so very much. It's such a great tool for expanding your mind, challenging yourself, and also quite practical to be able to start speaking a new language in less than 3 weeks. I live in South Florida and there's a lot of Spanish speaking communities. It's a very rich, diverse area in general, and being able to understand Spanish as I'm learning has been tremendously helpful in certain situations, whether it's, getting some food or navigating directions or really anything kind of practical. It's been a definite game changer for me here. The courses in Babbel have been created by native language speaking teachers. So they have developed these really wonderful courses based off of real world conversations and things you will actually need to converse in another language. Support through conversations, whether it's regarding career, work, relationships, travel. There's a lot of really helpful and, can I say fun? Like, it's a really fun app to use. I often get lost in it and find myself, if I have set like 15 minutes aside, let's say, I often find myself going over those 15 minutes because it's just really enjoyable and a lovely challenge to my mind. In addition to that, my son is now in school, but we are still supplementing Babbel as his, language vocation here, or language class. He enjoys it so much. He's 11 years old and he enjoys it so much. He has it on his phone. He has his own account and we love doing it together, but I also catch him on it in his room often, and it's pretty precious to hear. I don't know, I really, just as a mother, really appreciate anything that teaches him but that he also enjoys. So it's wonderful for students. There are actually different subscription levels with Babbel, and they're now even offering a lifetime subscription, which is really awesome. I certainly could see myself using this app continuously. Babbel also offers a 20-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no risk to trying it, and I would highly encourage you to if you haven't before. It's a really wonderful way to expand your mind. I've certainly noticed as well that my confidence and comfort in certain situations is there where it might not have been before when it comes to being able to interpret what other people are saying, or at least, I'm not completely fluent at this point, but I can understand, I can converse, and I can let them know that I'm learning and I only know a little bit right now. But I've found that whenever I'm engaging with someone and they find out that I am learning Spanish, they're usually really happy to not only teach me something, which is very often, or just, encourage me. And it's a nice little bonding moment, even with a stranger at times. You can use my link below or scan the QR code to get 60% off your subscription to Babbel. I can't recommend enough. I enjoy it, my son enjoys it. It's fun. There are games. You can listen to things a little more podcast style. There's writing, there's reading, there's almost dramatic stories, little telenovela almost reminiscent things to work through to help you with the conversations. And again, just super enjoyable. Can't recommend enough. Thank you so very much to Babbel for partnering with me on this video and many others, and thank you so very much, viewers and subscribers. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for being here with me. Now let's get into our session, and I promise those sounds won't be in here. Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Lune INNATE. My name is Jillian, and I'm creating here, if you've never seen any of my videos and this is in any way confusing to you, my content is created with intentions to support relaxation, reflection, a time and space for yourself to direct your focus back to you. things to chew on perhaps, or inspire new thoughts, or maybe thoughts that you've had before and now they're validated, or they can be validated through even stumbling across a video on YouTube. I create them in an ASMR style. They're not exclusively ASMR content. It's more of a spiritual, meditative, sort of self-development content, perhaps woven with ASMR. So we've got a hat on a hat here, like a niche in a niche. And on top of that, I also teach, study, practice healing arts modalities, particularly when it comes to teaching. I teach Reiki. But I also like to treat these sessions, I call them, as a offering to anyone who stumbles across it, who might be open to the idea of energy work by proxy. By proxy meaning here in front of me is where I picture you. You know, only if you allow. This isn't invasive or encroaching in any way. But if you're open to it and you trust, and I'm declaring it now, that I only work in fields of benevolence and respect to personal will, a sort of energy work, you know, an energy balancing done through a proxy setup, which basically means that I'm focusing on something physical as I would focus on a body if I was having an in-person session with someone. So microphones for ears, lens for eye, length of tripod for length of body, etc. Alright, so our theme for today, I must give a little introduction here. I don't think that the same effect is able to be conducted without a intro in these more purposeful sessions. But as many of you know, I've kind of been going through it. I feel like I'm coming out of this this sort of like rebirth, phoenix from the ashes, you know, sort of experience. I've had some like hits in my personal life, health things, a lot of things that really accumulated and layered and essentially led to this feeling of crumbling, you know, this feeling of really needing, like through even my body's communication to me as well, needing to focus on myself and stabilize myself and support myself through this transformation that I'm going through. And every day I think, oh, here I am, I'm getting back to it. I still need a little time, you know, so thank you all who have been giving me this grace. I can't exactly call it exclusively like a mental health thing. It's been mental, emotional, spiritual, and I've been in therapy, and I'm taking care of my body, and I'm bringing in new habits. I'm really putting in the work to be as stable, grounded, and reflective, learning, understanding myself. So the majority of the sessions usually always come from something that I'm either witnessing or personally experiencing, and you know, very much so in the last probably a few months of sessions. The theme for today that I wanted to work with you on is this concept of that I have found myself sort of struggling with as I'm coming out of, or I'm learning about, or I'm okay, how can I make this work for myself? What does this look like through my lens, or through my skill set, or my operating functions and stuff? And that is a concept of plans and life goals, and 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plans, things of that nature. I know myself, I operated through a level of insecurity, and I don't mean being insecure in myself. I mean really not having something that felt stable. My childhood was very chaotic, and there wasn't a lot of, what's the word? There wasn't a lot that I could rely on. I didn't know what was going to happen when I got home. I didn't know if there would be dinner. I didn't know if my parents were going to get in a big fight. I didn't know how I was going to be treated. So there's this like chaotic sort of levels of my foundation that I've needed to really like see and understand so that I can work with them. And now that I've gotten myself through a lot of hard work to a place that is more stable in terms of, you know, it's not like that. I know I'm gonna eat, like thank God, right? I'm very lucky, but I know I'm gonna be able to eat. I know I'm gonna be able to do this. I know I can care for myself. I know I have good friends that I can talk to if I need to. I know I have a therapist I can talk to if I need to, right? Like, I'm bringing in tools, I'm setting up and connecting with resources. I don't mean to say my friend is a resource, but you know, like these things that are very supportive lifelines in a sense. And there's also this woven in here, this, you know, understanding of just, I've never done this before, you know, and I think that a lot of us throughout our lives are really experiencing a ton of firsts. First time, you know, living on your own for, you know, whatever. First time fully supporting yourself. First time being a single parent. First time processing this much grief. First time, you know, getting to this point. Now, what comes next? So I really want to honor in myself and in you if you're feeling a little unsure, insecure, just novice. Like there's a novice kind of energy here of, well, what comes next? If I had been operating on survival and now I'm in a place where, wait, I can make a 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plan. What does that even look like, you know? And I'm 41, you know, like I don't judge myself, but I thought I'd be all right with that by now, you know? So my point being, or to wrap this up here, I want to support all of us here. The intention is to support the comfort, the approach to like understanding yourself and what best approach is for you when it comes to life goals, plans in a timeline sort of sense. I don't mean a lot of rigidity here or inflexibility or hard deadlines. I know that doesn't necessarily work for me. I have a little rebel in me, but just the idea of how can we work with that. We're presently in a lot of retrograde period right now, so I'm not even saying let's do this and then let's go do it. I mean, let's start to become comfortable with what these plans might look like, the concept of them, again, how you might best work with them. For example, in therapy recently, we talked about learning, like the way people learn. Some people read more through reading, so it's more of a direction or information process of learning, where other people might be more visual learners, pictures or their imagination to you know, see and experience somehow what that might look like. And others are more hands-on, and we learn more through the experience. And while we all have a bit of that going on, I know that I learn through the experience most. And I want to also, you know, share that I had an resonance with that, because I feel like, not to say that reading about something isn't learning it. A lot of people can learn that way. My brain doesn't really work that way 100%. So, you know, that's great. But just from my perspective, I do appreciate the tactile learning because I feel like it is very authentic. I feel like if I just read something and share it with someone, it can be interesting, but it's not the same of sharing. Like, for example, reading a recipe and following it, or reading a recipe and knowing, okay, I know how to make like challah French toast, but doing it is a whole different thing, where maybe I want to add more egg yolk because I thought that that custard could have been a little more yolky, or yeah, it said it like this, but I found that putting the heat on here was more manageable for the tools that I have, and I got a better result. So all of that said, or what I'm trying to say here, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, don't get mad at me, is for those of you particularly who learn best through perhaps visualizing, but specifically through doing, like walking the walk, learning through experience, I think for us, it's perhaps more difficult to put these like 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals into place, because you don't know yet till you do it. Like, you don't know yet till that door opens. You don't know yet until you see it. And I want to really honor that, you know, and really work with that in our session here. So, thank you so much for listening. I'm so sorry. I know people get annoyed with the intros, but listen, you know, gotta do it sometimes. So we're gonna light our candle, which I have here, on behalf of the highest and greatest good, and perfect comfort and perfect alignment. We want to build a confidence of sorts, a acceptance, an appreciation for how we learn, how we plan, how we see, how we connect with things. We want to bring in some flexibility of sorts, right? Because, the best laid plans and all. So it's good to be able to surf the waves and adapt and pivot. And yeah, there's going to be a detour. There's always a detour. But you know what? If we can be flexible, we won't become too far off of the path. We won't throw, like the baby bathwater kind of situation. We won't give up. We'll persevere and find other ways to get things done. So I really want to focus on this as well with really an internal sense. Yes, I'd love to see this in your life right away, but I also want to acknowledge that these are deep internal subconscious sort of roots or ways of working with things. So we want to let this unfold in a way that is has like a real backbone to it, has real roots and bones and foundation for things to grow off of, for these developments to grow off of. It's not about skipping any steps here. It's about step, 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 okay? And if you have your own intention, if you already know perhaps something of your life goal or things that you might have that you're wishing for, just send it into the light. We're going to do a lot of clearing to remove fear, remove that insecurity, that expectation of chaos, in a sense that, it becomes untrusting. There's going to be chaos, I don't mean to say that, but as in there's going to be things that are unpredictable. But I mean, let's not let that impede, let's not let that have any negative effect on what we're working towards or what we're wishing for. Let's let the wish be pure. And this is somewhat supported, I would say, by a recent video that I did. I can't remember the name exactly. I don't watch my videos, guys. I edit them and I'm like, I never want to see that again. So I'm sorry. But anything that you'd like to share with yourself here, to admit to yourself, to speak out loud. I want this. I want that family. I want the house. I want this in my career. I want this as fulfillment. I want to be happy, It can be general. It's okay. So I'm going to start with this spray from the Shamsia. I'm going to spray this all around your back. It's a desert rain. I'm using it for a bit of clearing, a bit of softening, a bit of a refresh. Over your head. In front of your body again. And behind your back directly. Side. And side. And below your feet. Or below the lowest part of your body. I'm going to spray my hands. And I just want to kind of sweep through while channeling. So sweeping over your head and down the front of your body, down the sides of your body, down the back of your body, and channeling through a bit of validation. I know I'm very lucky. I can't explain how it works. I guess like attracts like. But I know a lot of you share parallels to me. parallels in our journeys, or what we've experienced, or what our challenges are. So I just want to channel through that validating energy and really clear a lot of blame here, like even through just this rain, washing away any blame. This isn't something to blame yourself over, and there's no point in blaming anyone else either. If it was your parents, I know I'm the firstborn. My parents had never been parents before. Their mess ups weren't intentional. The things they said, the fights they had, they weren't thinking, oh, yeah, and then our kids will have to work through this into their 40s and beyond, probably. You know, so let's not blame. Let's just work with where we are, see it for what it is, and empower ourselves through it. Okay. Have these selenite wands. They love to collect dust, and we are going to use this as, instead of scissors, a form of cutting, a form of clearing. Selenite is, metaphysically speaking, has properties of clearing and channeling and ushering in light, awareness, clearing quote-unquote negativity. So we're going to just move this through the consciousness, and not just the mind of mind, not just the subconscious, not just the waking mind, but also the mind of the body, the mind of the cells, the memories held, the impulses, the knee-jerk reactions, the lack of action, you know, well, I don't want to make that plan because I know it's just gonna let me down. I'm gonna let myself down, right? I'm not gonna take that step. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I really want to be healthy, but I'm just gonna eat these Takis anyway. I don't know. No hate on Takis. Although, I don't really buy Takis. I do buy Sprouts brand chili lime tortilla rolls. Because at least they don't have that food coloring. So we're gonna first, or not first, but as we're going through, we want to go through this channel within you. So like, clearing that channel for your divine connection, your life force, your spiritual energy, your vital force of the body as well, to move through you, to be received into your body and expressed through your body, through your actions, through your words, through your thoughts, through your energy of projecting. Like you project, you are like a burning candle, you know. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but and through, channeling through. You can almost see like a torch being thrown into a well, but as the torch falls, the light continues, illuminating all the way down and all the way through, up. Okay, I'm gonna just clearing of those pathways. I want to focus specifically around the knees, because again, in metaphysical schools, the knees are representative of flexibility, navigating what life throws at us, the detours. So we're going to clear any blockages there, any inflexibility, any rigidity. And of course, everyone's body is different. So it's not just about knees as a physical space on your body. It's more about what is it representing. The correspondence here, we're focusing on our, again, ability to navigate, to bounce a little, to get down and get up. We're going to go through the heart now, crossing the heart, clearing any, stuff that we might have built up around our heart space or which inhibits how we see our lives playing out. So we can get the messages from our heart and soul. Like, what do you want? Where do you see yourself next year? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where in 10? What's important to you? What's important to you on an emotional level, or a financial level, or on a health level, or other personal development, or manifestation, or love. We're going to go now past the eyes like this. Supporting, seeing that. Yes, first with the physical eye, we'll focus. Third eye, the inner vision. To let yourself really imagine something. And yes, there's a practical nature to this in a sense. So we want to keep that balanced. Tap into the third eye as if we were right touching the pineal gland, gently tapping around it. Down to the throat, the lower consciousness, clearing those thoughts that come up that impede, things that don't belong to you, thoughts of others. We're going to use this to calm down. We're going to reach up into the ether, into spirit, into higher self, into higher consciousness, and just sweep down, combing through, directing it through that channel within us, illuminating, and really calling in. I want to say the word higher purpose. That's not because I want to imply that all of you need to save the world, But there is something to be said for you doing what you came here to do. And only you know what that is. And maybe there's one big thing, maybe there's tons of things. So whatever that might be, channeling through and anchoring into you, but also sharing, projecting, like a hum or a frequency or a color. Sweeping down, sweeping down, sweeping down, anchoring in, channeling in, anchored and shared. We want to call this empowerment into the aura all around you and fill your space, your personal space, with this knowing of your connection to all, your comfort in playing with time. Ooh, thinking ahead. How can we be flexible? Thinking of all the doors that will open, and when this one opens, oh, maybe when I get here, I'll find out this, and I'll go there, and I'll find out this. That's definitely been my journey. So we're gonna sweep through the face, just for a little bit of that headiness, a little spaciness, not in an ungrounded way, but just a little euphoria. Channeled through the face. Channeling into the throat and the solar and the third eye and the sacral and the crown and down to the root and back to the heart and your Taurus field. I have some of my favorite pairings here. These are two celestial types. I'm pretty sure I know this one is. I hope you can see. It's really cool structures. Looks very architectural, in my opinion. And it has this flat back, which makes it interesting. And this as well. So this is amethyst, and this is a golden quartz, and also sort of flat. And they just like, do these not go great together? So we're gonna tap, rub, tap, and rub, calling in the correspondence here. So as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without, as without, so within. Really working on all these pathways, right? The present moment, the past, the present moment, the future, this reality, multiple realities. Whatever, you can go as far out as you want with it. But I like these again for this above and below sort of concept. This female and male, mother, father, more like earth, spirit, right? Matter and spirit. So we're gonna go and tap and call in your qualities as the architect here, as the planner, as the pin dropper, as you who hold the compass, you who lay the plans, you who declare this structure and the plans for this. I don't know why this is popping in my head, but when I was lucky enough to go to Barcelona a few years ago, and I went to I forget the proper name for it, but the Gaudi cathedral, it's still under development. Like, dude's buried there. It's still under development. The plans are still there. This architect of God, you know? The plan's still there. So there's something really interesting, of course, yeah, but really magical and timeless, and I don't know, there's some sort of cool message to that. And it's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Like a dream. Like you're floating. So we're just touching on some points specifically within your auric field, your etheric body, to empower your design, your map, your perspective, your ability to make plans for yourself, to set goals fearlessly. A certain practicality, perhaps, to ground it, but without a lot of inhibiting factors. Definitely none from childhood, none from other people. What's most important is that if it, sounds corny, but that it's in your heart. That's something you want. And it's also okay to set your map. Let's say this 5-year plan you might have, and realizing you gotta pivot a little along the way. Oh, I started doing this. I thought I was gonna love it. I don't love it. How can I adapt to this? For example, oh, I moved to this location. I thought I was gonna love it. I don't. It's okay. Let me adapt. Addend. I'm saying that wrong. Addendum. My plan here. And I'm focusing again in the knees or the points of flexibility to anchor in, to attune your flexibility to carry through your 1, 5, 10-year plan, whatever. To release a fear of commitment, perhaps, or a fear of failure. And I'm just going to hold these in my hands like this and channel through, into and down, and in, and down, just anchoring it in to the earth, to the grid, to the timelines, and steps along the way that can pivot, that can change, that can shift, but that are established enough to give structure, to give bones, to give railings or guards or a certain level of containment for the purpose of creation, not to stifle. So we're going to go through and channel through into the mind. The minds. And through the form. I think too there's an issue perhaps with this, with all of our instant gratification, desires. We have to let some things take time, right? I think this is the last crystal for this session, but this is a really cool piece. Maybe you can look right here at this little triangle face and see the record keepers, I think they're called. This is chrome dioptase, epidote, I'm sure other things that I don't remember. And it's my little floating Ghibli island. Like, how precious, right? I love how even the bottom of the matrix, you can see the sparkly bits. Because, you know, we all love sparkly bits. So here's another point. Maybe you can see that record keeper shape that I'm speaking of. Another example. I'm just going to hold this up to your brow and channel through to remind you you create your own world. Yeah, there's rules to play by here in Earth, in a sense. Sure, yeah, of course. But the green is created by you. You know, the joy, the appreciation, the gratitude for the journey, the not just acceptance of the journey, but the deep appreciation for all the things along the way, all the things you learn, all the ways you grow, all the things you change your mind about. These worlds you create, whether it's a moment to yourself in the bathroom, or a meditative journey, or your home in the holidays, or your work environment, your contribution to them, it creates them, it enhances, it impacts. So I just want to empower your appreciation for that and your comfort in connecting with that. I think fear of failure or fear of not succeeding is so great for so many of us, and we don't even know it. Maybe it's a fear of hard work. Maybe you're afraid to, or you find yourself at times afraid to make that plan because you know it might be hard, or you believe it might be hard, but that's not always the case too. This also reminds me of the Bjork video for yoga. She's got like the thing in her heart. I'm gonna use some copal again down your back, front, side. Did I do 6 here? I just do an extra just in case. Below your body. And over your head. My hands. Okay, we're going to channel through, calling in your understanding of how you learn, how you experience, validating. Perhaps this is the first time you've been in the position that you're in now. This is the first time you've been this age. This is the first time you've been in this kind of relationship. This is the first time you're being really true to yourself. I don't know, just examples. It's the first time you've maybe had the resources to support yourself, or the option, or now I can make a plan, now I can invest, now I can, I do have a little extra time, how am I going to use it? I want to really anchor in also, just want to really see it in my mind. A balance. Yes, we have these plans and goals, okay? We'll form them. We might start there and work our way back, and then see what kind of steps we might take. We might follow our hearts, so to speak, as in our impulses, our desires. And no matter how we do it, it's whatever way is best for us. I want to really bring in a quality of balance and temperance. There are things you're seeking, right? Your nervous system is seeking, your desires are seeking, so to speak, experiences to have, not just manifestations, but ways you want to feel, ways you want to feel about your life, ways you want to feel in your friendships and all this stuff. And it has to be balanced, sort of like the dopamine and oxytocin video series that I was doing, for the chemicals. I want to really balance that and make sure that you're doing everything you can to harmonize that, right? Getting sleep, eating well, moving your body, expressing your needs, putting some things away that are perhaps overindulgent, and using the time that you're freeing up to work on yourself in some capacity. Something that's fun, something that brings a level of joy, satisfaction. Alright, so this is a little bit of a gentle session here, but I just felt like we needed to have this offering up and available. Just want to really work in the aura. Remember that all the work that you do can really be felt by others. It shows up, in your vibe, but in your actions, in your reactions, in your patience, in your advice, your insights, in so many ways. How you carry yourself, how you lead by example, or demonstrate through your example. Alright. I just want to thank you so very much for allowing me to share a little piece of your path tonight. And thank you for being such a big part of mine. From the very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine in you and I, and to this very interesting and beautiful connection that we share. So much love to you.